Hi there. I'm going to take you through how to write code for the structure commander. First off, you can just write any Minecraft commands straight into a text file, like so. And these will all be run just once when you load the structure. So now when you load the structure into the world, it'll say, I am a command, and then everyone will be put into creative mode. More useful than that is you can create a machine which runs a whole load of commands on a clock regularly, which you can do like so. You type machine, and then you enter a name for your machine, which can be anything you like, and then you say every and how often you want it to run. So if you want it to run every single tick, you enter 1. If you want it to run every second, you type 20, because there are 20 ticks to a second. If I push enter and push tab to indent, everything indented after this machine line will be part of this clock that runs every 20 seconds. So all of these say commands will happen every single game tick now. You can also create machines that will only run when you tell them to. You simply skip off the every part of them. So now that command will only be run when we tell this machine to run, rather than every single second. The way you then tell it to run is simply by saying run, and then the machine name, which I made single. If you like, you can also include a delay to run it after here, so I can say after 40, and that will run it after 2 seconds. Where this gets interesting is you can then take a command like this and put it inside a machine. So now this machine that runs every second will cause this machine to also run every second, but after a 2-second delay. I'm not quite sure why you would want that specifically, but that's something you can do. If you want to disable a machine that runs regularly, simply give it a run command with a negative delay. So run tutorial after -10 or similar, that will cause it not to run regularly. So those are the core features you would expect from any kind of command combiner. Here are a few that you've probably seen elsewhere that will make your life a lot easier. First one is aliases. You can create an alias like this one. And so now whenever I type SP+, it'll effectively replace that with Scoreboard Players add, which will save a lot of time if you're trying to do a lot of scoreboard updates. So say I want to make a machine that gives points to everyone every single tick. I can then say SP+ all players. So now that would add 1 to the score objective of everyone every single tick. And maybe you want to do this to a whole load of objectives. So now they're going to get 1 to the score, and they're going to get 10 to an objective called some other objective. And you can create loads of these and use them as regularly as you like. You can also put them on the end of things or in the middle of a command. They don't have to be at the start, so I might want to say now every time I insert mug number, it'll insert 806. So now this will add 806 points. And that might be useful if, for instance, you needed to refer to a particular number many times, but you decide you want to change it. You now only have to change it on this line, and it'll update everywhere. The next shorthand feature, which is great for if you want to execute lots of similar commands together, is prefixes. One thing I often want to do is run lots of commands from the origin, which you would do by saying execute p000, and then a command after here will be run at those coordinates 000. For instance, I might want to tell players that they're in an illegal area and then kill them, which normally I'd have to do tell So now players with 100 blocks of 000 will be told that. And then maybe I want to then kill those players. And maybe I want to do a whole load of other commands at 000 as well. The shorthand for this is you simply type prefix, and then everything indented after that prefix will have this at the start of it. And you can quickly see how that might save you an awful lot of time. Where this gets powerful is you can then put your prefix code inside a machine, and now all of this will be run every second. You can even use aliases inside of these. For instance, maybe I want to make this radius easier for me to change. I can say, and then simply type this here, and now if I decide I want to change the range of that in my code, I just have to adjust this number. The next and perhaps most powerful part of this whole system are inline functions. They're kind of like machines. They allow you to insert lots of code into a machine. Say I might want to use this code that I just wrote many times over. I can declare an inline like this. So now all of this is part of a inline group called kill near 0. On its own, it doesn't do anything, but I can take this text and I can put it up here. And now all of these commands will literally be inserted into this machine. It's not the same as using run, which just queues the game to run that machine at the end of the tick. This actually inserts all the command blocks. The reason you might want to do that is, say you want to do this many times over. Now it'll insert all of those commands 3 times into the machine. Whereas if I had used the run command, run simply says, this tick, run this thing. So if I was to say, run single many times, it will only run it once this frame. Inlines are actually even more powerful than you would expect. You can add arguments to them. This will be familiar to anyone who's done programming before. I could modify this inline to take some arguments, such as I might want to make it so you can adjust the kill range each time you use it. So I simply type a keyword here. You don't have to use these triangular brackets, but I think it makes your code clearer to do this kind of thing. Kind of like using an alias. I can insert this argument into here. I no longer need this alias, I'm not using it. And now whenever I use kill near 0, I have to include something afterwards, which will be the range. So now this will insert 3 different copies of this, each with a different range set. So the first one will kill all the players and give the message to anyone within 100 of 0. The next one, anyone within 200 of 0. I could also specify who to run the command as. At the moment it's always at P, which is just the player nearest the command block running the command. So now I could insert this run as here, and I could say so now the first time the command will be run as me, so I will say too close to origin. The second one will be run as the nearest player, and the last one will be run by every player. Next up, here's how you can specify what kind of command block a block in your machine will be. Say I want this block here to be an impulse block. I simply type impulse in front of it. Normally everything will be a chain block. You can do the same with the other command block types. You can even specify whether something is conditional or not. There's also shorthand for all of these. You can type simply I or R. You can type cond, or you can type an uppercase C for conditional. Personally, I think it's clearer to use the full text so that your code is more readable, but if you're not that worried about that, you can save time. The last feature I want to highlight is the multiply feature. For instance, here I've said run single 3 times. If I wanted to do that, the shorthand is simply to put multiply space 3 space. So now this will be run 3 times. That's pretty much everything I wanted to cover here. Now you know all of the command syntax for this command combiner. If there are any other features you would like to see added, please drop me a comment and I'll see what I can do. Thank you.